Yes. Did you have an update on the cons? Good riddance. We've had reports for years that they're the ones who supply the fiends with chems, but no one's done anything about it. In any event, no one will miss them. And I've got another mission for you. We've had some disturbing reports recently concerning the Omertas, one of the 3 families that run the Strip. Our intelligence has discovered that high-ranking members of the Omertas have been having clandestine meetings for the past several months. We haven't been able to determine whom they've been meeting with, but if it's Caesar's men, we'll need to act. I need you to uncover what they're up to and stop it if it threatens the NCR. Any questions? Excellent. You'd think living in the lap of luxury and power would be enough for some people, but no. Now that that's out of the way, let's see. Mr. House was a concern, but someone conveniently dealt with him for us. Oh, that reminds me. You might be happy to know that your efforts haven't gone unnoticed. The brass have been throwing around the idea of having the president visit the dam for a while now, to rally the troops and boost morale and such. With our recent achievements, they finally feel secure enough to stage the damn thing. But while it's being planned, I have one last mission for you. Several years ago, we managed to wrest the Helios 1 solar power station from the Brotherhood of Steel chapter local to this area. It was a crushing victory, but no one's heard a peep from the Brotherhood since. Most people assume the Brotherhood is scattered and not a threat. Recently, we've had scouts go missing in an area west of Helios, and I'm concerned that the Brotherhood is involved. I want you to find them, and once you do, finish them for good. Any questions? Don't even think about it. Any Brotherhood survivors likely harbor a deep grudge against us. We can't afford to leave such an enemy alive. Any other objections? Maybe you'd like to bring the Brotherhood some flowers. Dismissed.
That fiend leader shouldn't have messed with our great army.
Wish I could have been there to see Caesar die. What an asshole.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Hey, what did Chief Hanlon have to say about those false reports we uncovered? What? Chief Hanlon? The man's a war hero. Why would he... That just doesn't make sense. This is awful. Welcome back.
Hey.
Best you don't worry about us. We'll
What can I do for you?
watch your back. Back already? What do you need?
Wish I could have been there to see Caesar die. What an asshole.
I'm afraid you're not gonna find much help here. We've got our hands full as it is.
How do they expect us to fight the Legion with only the crappy equipment and gear they gave us? I can't wait for General Oliver to get out here. He could turn this place around.
Hey. Right here, fiends. This is what payback looks like.
One of the Ranger vets looked at me, and I just about surrendered.
If it isn't the gal that defeated the Legion at Nelson. About the shortage of Hydra, right? We all have our own ways to deal with this place. Me, I sometimes walk at night. Calms the nerves. I think Private Stone does the same thing. I sometimes see him wandering around the camp. Well, he seems to need more time to himself. His cot's still empty when I return after midnight. Did you need anything else?
Howdy do, folks. I'm Sheriff Myers. Be good, or I'll shoot you.
Oh man, awesome!
More news for you at the top of the hour. More classics coming right up for you, so stay tuned.
quit talking. We've got a job to do.
Yeah? Ma'am?
Hello.
I wanted to thank you again for saving my patients. So you found out what's happening with the supplies? What would you like to know? I store a variety of drugs here, but it looks like my supply of Hydra is diminishing rather quickly. Excessive use causes dilated eyes and increased heart rate and blood pressure, massive sweating, you know, the usual. Locked in a cabinet here in the medical tent. I'm around most of the time, but I can't keep a constant watch on them. I remember coming in one morning and noticing my supplies were lower than they should have been. I thought it might have been a mistake, but another morning I noticed the same thing. The camp is pretty dead at night, especially at 0200 hours when the guard shift changes. That'd be a good place to start looking. Okay then, what would you like to talk about? Until we meet again.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
So, I heard you helped take over Nelson from the Legion. Glad to see someone making a difference around here instead of just complaining. Better now that all those Legion troops in Nelson are dead. The NCR might actually have a chance at kicking their asses after all. No, can't say I do. I got my own problems to worry about. Good work. If you find any more, you know where to find me. Uh-huh. Hello?
Hello?
Tried to measure my charisma on a Vitomatic vigor tester once. The machine burst into flames. And now the news.
Smart move for the Kings to back down. They didn't know who they were messing with.
In the ski lodge to the northwest. If you should find it, do not
Hey there, the name's Sexton.
be a little a super mutant for taking the buddy slope. Get it?
Oh, what are you doing here? I was just, getting some fresh air and stretching my legs. It's getting pretty late, though. I should get going. Good night. Aren't you the gal that helped wipe out Nelson? Holy shit, that's fucking crazy! Missing medical supplies? No, I don't know anything about that. What? Oh shit, how the fuck? Oh man, I'm in some deep shit now. Look, I can explain everything. Really, just give me a chance to explain. Have you looked around? Have you seen what's going on here? What we're going through? This place is hell. I've seen all my friends butchered by the Legion in front of my very eyes. I can still hear their screams at night. All I wanted was a little escape, so I took some drugs to help me do that. Is that so bad? I never thought about that. But look, I needed this. I needed to escape for just a little while. I needed this. So what happens now? What? You want me to turn myself in? Why the hell should I do that? I guess you're right. I'll do the right thing and turn myself in.
Hello? Unless it's urgent, you're going to have to wait. If it's gravely important, save me. I heard Private Stone turned himself in for stealing my medical supplies. You have my thanks. Until we meet again.
Your travels been going all right? Told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while since I've had my hands on the controls of a vertibird. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. That place seems to attract aircraft for some reason. But if I get one more chance to fly, count me in. I'll be there. My part of the passphrase is dear. I was never happier than when I was in the cockpit. I was able to go just about anywhere and everywhere, limited only by the fuel I could carry. There were more than a few missions where I took the scenic route home just so I could stay in the air. Caught hell for it every time, but worth it. Some of the things we did were questionable, I know. That's just how it was back then. Figure I've done enough good to make up for any sins, anyhow. Watch your six out there. Hey there.
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too. She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded. As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something admittedly pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare.
Is there something else I can do for you? I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be handing things over to Calamity, so talk to her if anything comes up. Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker. Friends. Don't forget it. Yes, yes.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed. Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone, but he's probably saved more lives than I ever will.
You ever see one of those rangers in black armor? I wouldn't want to make one of those mad.
Sticking around for the attractions? Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us? Swooping in on a vertibird, guns blazing? Haven't done that in years, but all right, I'm in. None of this means a thing if the rest of the group doesn't show up, though. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro. I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things. The NCR was still new, and it didn't look like they'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base at Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants. Internal sabotage took down the oil rig. Never did get the full story. The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region. Uh-huh.
You ever see what...
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warm. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with him. Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor.
What brings you around this time? Thought I recognized the fellow with you. So what's this reunion all about then? Well, now there's an interesting idea. Do a bit of good before we're all dead and forgotten. You can count me in. Oh, and in case Arcade forgot to mention it, there's a 5-word passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My word is old. Appropriate, huh?
If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. He hated what the Enclave was doing. Day to day, week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I was like him in a lot of ways. I wish I knew. I grew up without him. I'll always feel like something is missing from my life, but you're right. It's not like I'm the only kid in the wasteland who's grown up without a dad. Johnson always said my father was a good man. If that's the only thing about me that's like him, that's enough for me.
Hey there!
Looks like I forgot to lock the doors again. If you're with the NCR, get out. This place is mine, and I'm not leaving. Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point of all this? Can't find any younger mercenaries? Is that right? The million-dollar question is, who exactly are we settling? I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR troopers with my old Gatling laser. Oh, I'll come. But depending on the plan, I might not be staying. Keep that in mind. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My part is, remember.
What's up? Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left. I suppose you're right. When you're part of something for that long, maybe it's impossible to let go without losing part of yourself. Moreno may be a stubborn son of a bitch, but at least he's loyal.
Welcome, sir, or... Welcome, sir, or...
The NCR.
Glad to see you made it here all right. So, who are we going up against? This was a minor refueling station for vertibirds. It seemed an appropriate place to stash our equipment if we ever needed it. I'm surprised this place hasn't fallen apart. When I put it into standby mode, I expected to return to it within a few years, not decades. Marino, Johnson, Henry, and I will be the boots on the ground. Whitman will stay with the vertibird. Then that's the plan. We're gonna have a problem with Moreno, though. He won't like that we're helping the NCR. You'll have to talk to him. You've got only one chance at this. I know Moreno. Once he's made up his mind about something, there's no changing it.
I took back Nelson. Maybe they can win this war after all.
I didn't come all the way out here just so we could save the fucking NCR. I'm out. I can't believe you've actually talked me into this. Fine, I'm in. But don't expect me to hold my fire if any NCR troops get in the way.
Thanks for doing this. Getting them all back together again. I'll be honest, when Moreno started going off, I didn't think we'd all be walking out of there in one piece. I still don't know how this is all gonna shake out in the end, but at least the Enclave can atone a bit for all the damage it's done. I've been wondering about Daisy and the others for so long, I still haven't figured out what I should do. I mean, I'm not like them. I was born at Navarro and my father served with them, but I wasn't really part of the Enclave. It seems presumptuous of me to think I could join the fight, even if this is a cause worth fighting for. Because I know when fighting breaks out at the dam, all hell is going to break loose in Freeside. They're gonna need every doctor they can get. Good point. You've been encouraging the others to stand up and fight. Maybe I should take the same advice. After all, I also lived in Navarro. There's something I need to go do, but I'll catch up with you later. Thanks again for your help with the others. It means a lot to me.
Howdy.
Grandma's got a present for you! Didn't your mother ever...
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Moreno's a stubborn son of a bitch, but he's also tougher than any of us. I'm glad you were able to talk him into staying. Since Whitman will be staying with the vertibird, she's offered to give her old suit of power armor to you. You'll need special training to use it properly, so talk to her as soon as you get the chance. The training might take several hours, so keep that in mind. I hear the NCR and the Kings have been getting along.
I appreciate you keeping Orion in the group. Since I won't be needing my armor, makes the cockpit a bit cramped, you should take it. It'll take a few hours to show you how to use it properly, so let's get started.
That's good news for Freeside.
If Caesar's dead, why ain't the NCR taking care of regular folks yet?
All this traveling's making me thirsty.